Yes, children, we were talking about how endonuclease is cut. You remember previous period? They cut at what
Yes, ma'am.
sequences? Was the what we were talking about?
Palindrome.
Palindrome. Everybody remember the word is palindrome. Everyone knows how to check a palindrome in a double-stranded DNA? Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I was just telling you about how endonuclease is cut. Here the endonuclease had cut, so this G and A. So this small G got separated. From here the cut is. One more thing I would like to show you. See this. Now the G is cut now. So this is a separate strand of DNA. So beta, इसको ध्यान से देखना. The G was cut from here. Here beta. So this was which prime?
5 prime.
5
5
prime.
prime.
So when this G will get cut, now it's a separate strand of DNA. So because left side was 5 prime, so this will become
3 prime.
3 prime. And always we have alternate. So adjacent to this 3 prime, we will have this. Let's go back over here. Let me show you this again. This was which prime?
3 prime.
3
So
prime.
when it will cut from here, then this will be which prime?
5 prime.
5 prime.
Now you tell me. This is cut from here. This is cut from here now. So this was which prime?
5.
5 prime.
So this G will have what over here? Which prime?
3 prime.
3 prime. And now we have a separate strand of this. This separate strand is 3 prime, and after A over here we will have which prime?
5 prime.
5 prime.
So you got two pieces. Of the first strand, you got two pieces. One was a very small piece which had how many bases? Only one. Which one?
G.
G. And here you had a long sequence. Here also you had only one and you had a long sequence. So when this is cutting between G and A, you got this. After cutting, you got a small strand, you got a longer one, here you got a longer one, here you got a smaller one. So both the cases, whether I talk about the upper strand of DNA, double strand, or the lower strand of DNA, one strand is longer and the other is shorter. Such kind of a cut is called? What is this cut called? Sticky cut. Very good. And such kind of ends, ये जो अकेले ends हैं, this part, this end, what are these ends called?
Sticky end.
Sticky end.
Remember beta, in a sticky cut, two kinds of bonds are broken. One is a phosphodiester bond. Okay. And when this piece will separate, the hydrogen bonds are also broken. The middle hydrogen bond. See, one to bond between A and G is broken. Bond between what is breaking? A and
G.
G. Okay. So your first kind of bonds which are being broken are the phosphodiester bonds between A and G. Again, the same reason we had an OH over here. 5 prime we have what?
OH.
And even the bonds between these will get damaged. जब ये अलग होगा, these bonds will also get damaged. Bond between AA is hydrogen, bond between TT is hydrogen. So there are two kinds of bonds which are broken in a sticky cut. Which are the two bonds which are broken?
Phosphodiester and hydrogen.
Yes, phosphodiester and hydrogen. Now, see, there is another kind of cut. Supposing you cut from here. Let me go back to the original strand. This is your original strand. How many sequences are there? G, A, A, T, T, C. If I take an endonuclease which cuts between A and T, which endonuclease I am taking which will cut between?
A and T.
A and T. So now you imagine and tell me, after cutting between A and T, what will be the first strand? Name the first strand after cutting.
GAA.
GAA. And what will be your second strand? I'm talking about the upper template only, upper stranded DNA.
TTC.
TTC.
So 3 bases this side, 3 bases this side. Now please cut at the same position on the lower template also. Tell me, what is the first piece that you'll get?
CTT.
Yes. And the second piece is?
AG.
AAG.
Huh? So are they equal or they are different?
Equal.
Yes, yes. They're equal
Yes, ma'am.
or they're different? Yes, na beta. They're equal na?
Yes, ma'am.
Please remember that they are equal. So this is the second cut that we have. Second type of cutting which is possible. Non-sticky ends. What are these called as? Non-sticky ends. And only hydrogen bonds, only phosphodiester bonds are broken over here. Hydrogen bonds are not broken. That is not there in your syllabus, but just to tell you that these kind of cuts are known as non-sticky cuts. Now, why is this cut called a sticky cut? Anyone? Any idea? See, beta, if I cut it like this, okay, they will form bonds between each other. See, they will combine with each other. This A with A with A, T with T, T with T, C with C. So they will form bonds with their complementary strand. They will stick to each other. Again, both these strands will try to stick and form a double-stranded DNA. This case will only happen in case of these sticky ends. Now you got sticky ends now. Please see these sticky ends that you have. These bond strands, they'll try because they're same. They'll try to attach to each other. You know, double-stranded DNA is between complementary strands. You know now? If you have an A, you'll have a T. If you have a C, you'll have a G. You know this now? Complementary
Yes, ma'am.
bases. So here they are basically complementary. They will again try to come closer to each other, stick to each other so that this single-stranded DNA is again converted into a double-stranded DNA. That is why they're known as sticky ends. Only this is there in your syllabus. But let us understand that also. What is a non-sticky end or a non-stick cut? Supposing your endonuclease cuts right in the center and you have 3 bases here, 3 bases here. Then such kind of ends are not known as sticky ends. They're known as non-sticky ends. And the cut is known as non-sticky cut, though it is not there in your syllabus. Okay? Chaliye. Everybody knows what is a palindrome sequence? Everybody knows what's a palindrome sequence, children? Yes?
Ma'am.
Okay. I'm just changing the PDF on the screen. Before I move on to the next topic, vectors, you just tell me very quickly. I have hidden it from the screen now. Name the 5 categories of enzymes that I've discussed with you. The first one was?
Lysing
Lysine
enzyme.
enzymes.
Lysine.
Can I have the second category? Most important one?
Endonucleases.
Endonucleases.
Endonuclease.
Third one?
Ligase.
Alkaline phosphatase.
Okay. Fourth one?
Ligase.
Yes. And the fifth was? Anyone?
Phosphorylase.
Very good.
Phosphorylases.
Which ones are molecular scissors?
Endonucleases.
Endonucleases.
Which one are molecular glues?
Ligase.
Ligase.
Which one removes phosphate?
Alkaline phosphatase.
Alkaline phosphatase.
Very good. And which one adds phosphate?
Phosphorylase.
Phosphorylase.
Very good. So we had done that we can insert a foreign gene into a host, any host, and then we can make a new DNA or recombinant DNA. But beta, every host will not be able to take this, number one. And number two, sometimes the DNA does not go directly. we need the help of some other organism to carry the DNA into the host. So we are going to study this vectors. Very important, but a little complicating topic. Giving you 1 minute to read. Please read this part. I know it's a little confusing one, but try and read. Read, I'll just give you 1 minute. At least 50% you'll be able to understand. I showed you 5 characteristics of vectors. Did you understand anything? How much percent you could relate or understand, children? 5 characteristics I told you. Honestly, tell me how much percent did you understand on your own? Ananya, Anshika, Reba, Harshita, Mahi, Raghav, Ritul, bolo bhai. How much you could understand? 10%, 20%, 5%, 2%, कुछ तो होगा.
40%.
40%, very good. What about others?
50%.
Good. That is why I always say, first read on your. We are going to talk about the next heading of the chapter. Enzymes are done. Which is the next topic we are taking?
Vectors.
Vectors.
Very good. See now. 2 things you need to all remember about vectors. Number 1, they are DNA molecules which can carry a foreign DNA segment. Sometimes you want to insert a foreign DNA into an organism, but directly we cannot do. So we take the help of certain DNA molecules. When these DNA molecules will enter the host, along with them, what they will carry? Foreign DNA.
Foreign
Foreign
DNA.
DNA.
Another property of vectors we all need to remember that they replicate inside the host cell. Beta, supposing I want to insert an antibiotic resistant gene. So one gene I will take, I will insert it in a plasmid. Plasmid is one structure I have just discussed with you. I've also told you how to insert a gene in a plasmid. Previous period, did we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'll insert that plasmid into the host cell. But my work will not be done. I'll tell you why it will not be done. The plasmid has only one gene. The effect which I want, supposing I'm inserting an antibiotic resistant gene, that means I'm wanting the organism to become resistant to antibiotics. So one gene to nahi kar payega na. Only one gene in a big host. Let me talk about man only. If there's a man and I want that antibiotic resistant gene has to be, the person becomes resistant to antibiotics. So I take a plasmid, I introduce one gene which is resistant to antibiotic and I put it in the body of the organism. How many genes has the plasmid taken?
One.
One.
Only one. That one gene will not be able to help me. I wanted the organism to become resistant to antibiotics, but one gene se nahi ho paega. We need a number of genes for that property to be achieved. So what is the second property? The vector that you're carrying should be able to replicate inside the host cell. That vector should have a power of replicating. मतलब अपनी जैसी बहुत सारी copies और बनाने का power होना चाहिए. So the plasmid which is carrying a foreign gene should have the power of replication. Means as soon as it enters the host body, one plasmid will produce 4 more copies. So 4 more genes are produced. So those 4 plasmids will again be able to replicate and produce more copies, so more number of genes. Because one gene se kuch nahi hoga. So what is a vector? Basically, it's a DNA molecule which carries what?
Foreign DNA.
Foreign DNA. And most important property of vectors that we did, it should be after reaching the host. What it should be able to do?
Replicate.
Replicate.
It should be able to replicate inside the host cell. We can take any nucleic acids, we can take DNA or RNA, whichever you want for transferring your desired gene. Any molecule you can take. Basically, RNA can also be used, but mainly DNAs are used. Now, characteristics for an organism to act as a vector. Supposing I say, okay, go and select a good vector and bring it for me. Now, what are the 5 things you will check that whether I can use this as a vector or I cannot use this as a vector? Everybody has understood vector? Vector is something जो आपका foreign gene को लेकर के जाएगा into the host body. And अंदर जाने के बाद it will start doing what? What is the
Replication.
word? Replication. Very good. So that multiple copies are made of that particular gene and whatever effect we want is produced inside the host body. Now, if I tell you, okay, go and bring a good vector for me. I want to perform some experiment. I want to insert a foreign gene into a host body. So please go and get me a good vector. You have 5, 6 vectors in front of you. How will you select that which one is going to be the vector? You will have to check out on all these characteristics which I'm telling you. Number 1, most important, I've already told you, it should be able to
Replicate.
Replicate.
it should have ori site. What is this word?
Ori site.
Ori side.
Ori actually means origin, short form of origin. The place or the site where replication originates or starts. That is why this site is known as which site?
Ori side.
And why do we need replication? Because you know this is carrying your desired gene. I try to explain with an example. Suppose we introduce insulin producing gene into E. coli. We are introducing which gene, beta? Gene which produces?
Insulin producing gene.
With the help of a vector. Vector I have selected is a plasmid. Which vector have I selected?
Plasmid.
What will happen? If E. coli will replicate, plasmid will also replicate. To replicate, it needs which site?
Ori site.
Ori side.
Yes. So when this vector will replicate, the desired gene will also replicate. That is why the first and the most important property of vectors is that it should have the capacity to
Replicate.
Replicate.
replicate. Further in the chapter, I will tell you the process of replication. But just Abhi, just remember that replication starts at a specific site only. What is that site called as? ORI.
ORI site.
What is that site called, children?
ORI site.
Actually, it is origin of replication. The short form of origin, we use the word ORI, so it is ORI site. Remember, only those DNA which have this site, ORI site, can replicate because replication starts at this site only. Okay. And why do we need replication? Because we need to make multiple copies of the gene which we have sent in the host. Very important topic. Which is the first important characteristic which each vector should have? Yes, beta, it should have the
It should be
capacity.
able to replicate.
Yes. And for replicating, it should have its sites.
ORI site.
ORI site.
ORI site. What does ORI mean?
Origin.
Origin of
Origin
replication.
of replication. And why do we need to replicate? Tell me, why do we need to replicate?
To carry desired gene.
Yes, to make multiple copies of desired gene. Okay, bache, what is a vector?
Host
A
cell.
molecule which carries
Okay, and it should have the property of?
Replication.
replication.
Very good. Why should it have a property of replication, children?
So that it can produce more copies of desired gene.
We have sent only one gene and we need multiple copies. So it should have the capacity to produce more copies. Is it okay? First point is clear to everybody? Able to replicate.
Replicate.
Now look at the second property now. ROP. It should have ROP, protein for replication. What should it have? Replication protein. It should have ROP. What do you mean by ROP? This is a protein which is needed for?
Replication.
Okay. The first thing I told you needed for replication is which site?
ORI site.
ORI
With
site.
this protein, it will go and bind with this site. Which site?
ORI site.
Yes. Now, only when this protein binds with ORI site, this enzyme is able to identify this site. The name of the enzyme is DNA polymerase. What is the name of the enzyme?
DNA polymerase.
DNA polymerase.
But this DNA polymerase will, this is the enzyme beta basically, which will actively produce multiple copies. Replication में यही काम करेगा DNA polymerase. And process कहाँ से start होना है? Which site? Which site it start? ORI
ORI
site.
site.
But problem ये है कि DNA polymerase identify नहीं कर पाएगा. There are so many sites. DNA polymerase will not be able to identify the ORI site until and unless which protein binds with the site?
Protein of replication.
Yes,
DNA
protein of replication. Now look at this. This protein when binds with the ORI site, then DNA polymerase recognizes it. First, the protein will bind at ORI site. Only then the DNA polymerase identifies the ORI site because of the presence of this protein. If this protein is present, then only which enzyme will be able to identify the ORI site?
DNA polymerase.
DNA polymerase. So we have done two essential features which should be present in vectors. Which was the first one?
Able to replicate.
Yes, it should be able to replicate. And it is able to replicate only if it has a specific site. What is that site called as?
ORI site.
ORI site.
ORI site. What does the word ORI mean?
Origin.
Origin. Origin of? Yes, origin of replication. Basically, ORI stands for origin. So ORI site is the site which replication process is going to start. Why do we need replication? I had already discussed in the first part with you.
To produce more copies of desired gene.
Very, very good, children. Now we move on to the second part now. Second thing which should be present only then we can use a substance as a vector. Which is the second thing?
Protein for replication.
Very good. Protein for replication. How does this help? Tell me. How will this protein for replication help in replication? It will go and bind with
OD site.
yes, it will go and bind with OD site. And why does this protein need to go and get bind with OD site?
So that DNA polymerase can recognize it.
Yes, beta. This DNA polymerase is actually the enzyme which is responsible for replication. And ये तभी active होगा when it identifies the OD site. And OD site को ये तभी identify कर पाएगा when what is attached to it? Which protein? Protein
For
of?
replication.
Yes. Now we come to the third characteristic which should be present in a vector. First two we have already done. Third is at least one selectable marker should be present. There are many genes which can be used as selectable markers, but remember that each should have at least one selectable marker should be present. I've given an example of selectable markers. Again, showing it to you on the screen. Chalo, tell me who will explain what are selectable markers. Read, I'll give you 2 minutes extra for this and the example. Selectable marker. Look at the examples, or then you'll be able to understand in a better way. Yes. Anybody? If you've understood little bit also. Selectable marker. When I say selectable marker, I'm talking about a gene, a chromosome, a DNA. What am I talking about?
Gene.
Gene. Okay. So the third characteristic of a vector is that it should have at least one selectable marker. That means it should have at least one gene which has this property. Any one selectable marker. Understand very quickly now what is this selectable marker. A gene which can be used as a selectable marker is, for example, antibiotic resistant gene. How will you get to know? Supposing you put this gene into an organism, the organism will become resistant to
Antibiotic.
antibiotics. Okay. Your organism will become resistant against any antibiotic. Or you take an enzyme producing gene. You take any gene and insert it, and the gene has a property of producing what?
Enzyme.
Enzyme. Normally, the gene which is used to produce enzyme, it is called LAC-Z gene. What is the name of this gene?
LAC-Z gene.
So as soon as it enters an organism, it starts producing this enzyme. The name of the enzyme is beta galactosidase. Sorry, children, we had a call from the school. So the name of the gene is LAC-Z gene. It produces an enzyme beta galactosidase. Now, this helps you to identify whether the desired gene is introduced into the host or not. Beta, you have sent the desired gene into the host. लेकिन वो desired gene host में पहुंच गई या नहीं पहुंची, कैसे check करेंगे? That your host is active enough that it is able to take the gene. How will we check this? With the help of these markers. What do we call these genes as? Markers. ठीक है बच्चे, कैसे check करेंगे? Whether now we can insert a gene, बहुत simple सा तरीका. You take an antibiotic resistant gene and you introduce into the host body. If the host becomes resistant to antibiotic, that means अब आपका host foreign gene को ले पा रहा है. Another example is you can insert a gene which produces what? Tell me, you can take an example where a gene produces an enzyme. The name of the gene is, which gene I told you? What is the name of the gene which generally is used to test?
LAC-Z.
LAC-Z gene. And whenever this gene will go into an organism, it will start producing which enzyme? Beta galactosidase. So आप थोड़े दिन में check कर लो, अगर ये enzyme present है, that means your LAC-Z gene has entered. So what are these markers doing? They are just helping you to check that whatever gene we are inserting into the host, वो अंदर जाके अपना effect दिखा रहा है या नहीं दिखा रहा है. Supposing we put a gene which is resistant to antibiotic, उसने अंदर जाके organism को antibiotic resistant बना दिया. This proves what? This is a marker. This is a pehchan that yes, the gene is entering the host. Similarly, the second example I told you, you can introduce a gene which produces enzymes. Which example, which gene did I take?
LAC-Z.
LAC-Z gene. Yes. And after that, it produces which enzyme?
Beta galactosidase.
So if the organism contains this enzyme beta galactosidase, this is a marker or this is a representative. It shows that yes, the genes are able to enter the host cell. So what is the first basic requirement of a vector?
LAC-Z gene.
Yeah, no. We are doing the requirements of vectors. Which was the first characteristic needed for
It
a
should
vector?
be able to replicate.
Yes, it should be able to replicate. Second was?
Protein replication should be.
Yes, beta. Second was?
Protein for replication.
Protein for replication. What do we call it in short?
ROP.
ROP.
ROP. And what was ORI?
Origin of replication.
Yes, it was origin of replication. So we are done with the 2 points that we have. What else is needed as a property of a vector? Very bad. Your batch is, I don't know what. Most of you are not sincere and regular in the class, surprisingly, even for the important chapters or important units. It's okay. I'm not going to take up the chapter and topic again. Whatsoever happens, I'm not going to take it again. So much of time I'm giving for these chapters. I told you, you need to do this, but no, nobody is bothered. Most of you not present in the second period. It's okay, fine. Third is selectable. What is it? Selectable.
Markers.
Marker.
Take 1 minute, read about the fourth point, that is restriction site. Very quickly, let me explain it. Switch up. Fourth is restriction site. Okay. What is the fourth thing?
Restriction site. Restriction site.
Try to explain something with the help of a figure. Did you understand something? Tell me what little bit you understood. Try beta, even if it is wrong.
Endonuclease is cutting the plasmid.
Not interested? Okay, I'll only section side. We know that whenever we have we to create a enzyme.
Ma'am, you